This video guide is going to show you how to read in different spreadsheets into R. R itself doesn't have a spreadsheet page that you fill in like SPSS does or like Excel is. Instead, you read in spreadsheets from other software and then you can work on it in R. You can manipulate the data in R and score questionnaires and so on, but the actual data itself you import from other softwares. I'm going to show you how you can read in Excel spreadsheets, SPSS spreadsheets and CSV files. So that should cover the vast majority of what people watching this video will need. In order to read in Excel or SPSS spreadsheets, we need to install a couple of R packages. If you don't know what I mean by installing packages, then you should just watch the previous short video in this series, which shows you how you can install packages and why we install packages into R. So the two packages we need are Read Excel and Haven. Now there are other packages that will read in Excel files and SPSS files. These are just two that I like to use. So you may see other packages, you may come across these and other examples you see online. Absolutely fine. These are just the two that I choose to use. So to install our packages, we simply use our install.package command, open brackets, and then our packages in quotation marks. So we pull in our Read Excel and our Haven package. If you've already installed these before, you do not need to reinstall them. You only install packages once. That will put the package in your library. However, in each session you wish to use a given package, you need to pull it out of your library. So we need to make sure we've got the Read Excel and the Haven packages pulled out so we can read Excel files and SPSS files respectively. So now we've got the packages ready, so we're able to use our commands. So the first one I'm going to read in is an SPSS file or a SAV file. To do this, what we need to do is create what we call a data frame. Now, a data frame is how R views data. So you read in data from another file and create a data frame, and that's what R's working on. You can call a data frame anything you want. So you can call it Dave if you wanted. However, it always pays to call it something clear and logical. That's why in this case I'm calling it data SPSS, because it's a data frame from my SPSS data file. So we give a name to our data frame and then we put in an arrow, and then we use our read_sav command. This is the command to read in an SPSS SAV file. And then we simply put in brackets and in quotation marks the name and location of our file. So this is where it sits on my computer, it's on my desktop in a folder called reading in data, and the file's called reading in SPSS.sav. Just bear in mind the direction of these slashes here. A lot of people put them that way. It's wrong in R, we need them to go that way. So if we just click on that, we have now read in our data file. Now if you want to look at it, we can just use this standard view command. It doesn't come from a package or anything like that. We can just say view data SPSS, and then we can see this is our data set. We've just got age, units consumed, and smoke, which is smoking status. Now a nice thing here is, so these are the column titles: age, units, smoke. However, in my SPSS data file, I also labeled the columns with a little bit more information, and the package actually reads in the label as well. So units, and the label is alcohol units consumed, smokers, smoking status. So this is the data frame for that. Now we can ask for a real basic summary of this if we just type summary and then data SPSS, our data frame, and this will give us some real basic information on that data file. So it gives us our minimum, first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, and max score from each of those. So it gives you some real basic descriptive statistics. I'm not going to go into descriptive statistics in detail in this tutorial. I'll do it in more detail later on. But you can see how you can get some basic information. Now, of course, this one here doesn't make any sense at all, because it's a categorical variable, whether a participant smokes. 0 or 1 is a smoker. So I will show you how you can simply label these categorical variables in a minute. So that's how you read an SPSS file. Now, for other files, it's really the same process, except you need to use a different command. So if we want to read in our Excel file, to read in the Excel file, we need to give our data frame a name. Well, a nice logical one is data Excel. And then we put in an arrow. And what's data Excel created by? Well, we use our read Excel command, which comes from this package here, the read Excel package. And then open brackets, quotation marks, and then the location and name of that file. It's in the same place, but it's called reading in Excel. So we click on that. And then again, we can view that data file if we want. So it's a slightly different data in this file, but it's all the same things. Now, of course, it doesn't have the labeling that we had from our SPSS file, because we can't do the labeling in Excel. Doesn't really matter though. And again, we can get a summary of our Excel data if we wish. There we go. So we've got a summary of that data. And that's how you read in Excel files. And then for a CSV file, well, the thing about CSV files, you don't even need a package to read them in. So we have to install packages here, but for the CSV file, we can just read that in. So we can just have, we're going to call our data frame for this one, data CSV, arrow, and then we use the read CSV command because it's a CSV file. And then just same thing as before, reading in our CSV file this time. So we can click run. We've read in that CSV file. We want to view it. And here's our CSV file. As you can see, it's the same data, different numbers again. We can get a summary of that. There's a summary of the data. Now, if we want to label our categorical variable, what we can do, we can use this few lines of command here. Basically, what we need to do is say we want to extract the variable that we've called smoke, and this $sign here is how you do that. We want to recode smoke from our data CSV file. So then we put an arrow sign and we tell it, okay, well, this variable is actually a factor, and the factor is data CSV extract smoke. Its levels are 0 and 1. So the levels in this column can be 0 and 1 because let's have a look at our, see they're only 0 or 1. And then the labels in the same order are non-smoker in quotation marks, comma, smoker in quotation marks. So we run that command. And then if we get our summary for data CSV, and you can see it also completes, we get a summary for our data CSV. Now, because it now knows this is a factor, it doesn't give us all these statistics. It tells us the number of non-smokers and the number of smokers in that data set. Now R understands that this variable is a category, so it doesn't make any sense to give means, quartiles and so on for that variable. So you've now labeled that variable. And that's how you read data into R. It's relatively straightforward once you get used to it. Now, if we want to get individual summaries for individual variables rather than entire spreadsheets, what we can do is we can ask for a summary, and then we can say we want to take from our, let's say our CSV, and we're going to ask for something specific. So let's say we're going to take age out of that. You see it's auto-complete. So now if we do that, it'll give us a specific summary for just age on its own. Likewise, we could do the same for Excel. And we can ask for a summary of units for that one. So you can see we can get a summary for whatever variable from whatever data frame that we wish. We can't at the moment though. Summary and then just type units. It's not going to recognize that. However, let's say there is one spreadsheet we want to operate from. Say we just want to look at the CSV data set. We're going to ignore anything else. We could just type attach and data CSV. Now we've attached this. This is the only data set it's going to look at. So if we could just say summary and then ask for age, for example. Now, because we've attached the CSV data file, it's going to give age from that file, so we don't need that full command there telling us to extract it from a specific thing, because we've attached the CSV file. So we're going to look at the CSV file only, so we can ask for summaries for those variables as well. We can also ask for a mean for the age, median age, and so on. We could ask for mean and then do it from a different data set. So if we insert the Excel file, we could use this command and just drop it in there as well, and so on. So we can read in multiple data sets at once. If we don't attach a specific data frame, then we can simply pull in the data frame and say specifically what we want from it. But if we attach it, we can ask for the name of the column in the data frame that we've attached. So we're only looking at that one. A lot of the time you will be just looking at one, so you can just use the attach command if you wish, but there's nothing wrong with writing out in a long form as well. I'm not going to cover in any more detailed descriptive statistics. I'll give you a much more thorough run through of it later on, and I'll discuss in more detail the attach command and about extracting specific columns and so on.